Nvidia's new GPUs are overheating, Intel's Battlemage December, and Intel knows that 3D V-Cache is good for gaming, but they're not gonna do it. Let's get into the hot news, everybody. I'm your bright host. We're gonna be going over the hottest tech news I can find on the internet while you enjoy your breakfast this Tuesday, November 19th, 2024. We're gonna start off today talking about the report of Nvidia's next-gen Blackwell GPUs that are being shipped out to customers, and it turns out that when you shove 72 GPUs that consume 120 kilowatts, that it's hard to cool properly. And that's exactly what's being found out, that these servers that are being shipped out to their cloud partners need a redesign in terms of the cooling section because it's just too much going on. Now, Nvidia doesn't appear to seem to think that this is a problem, with them saying that this is normal part of the development process and that they're going to ensure the final product meets performance and reliability expectations as they work to resolve the technical challenge. Now, this isn't the first time we've heard of problems with Battlemage. There was also some sort of defect that happened earlier this year that Nvidia addressed and said is fixed, but this is obviously talking about the things in the server industry, the big cloud computing stuff, not necessarily the stuff that gamers really care about. Does this really mean that your GPU that you're going to slot into your system is going to overheat the 5070? Probably not, but we do obviously have to look at things like the 5090, 450 to 600 watts with those 12 volt high power connectors. There's already been problems with a lot of heat going through these GPUs with gamers. So it appears that it's happening not just to us, but also people who pay way more money than we do. But thankfully, we've got some deals for you for today's video sponsor. Sitting is something a lot of people do a lot, and while standing is always good for you, it doesn't hurt to be comfortable while you sit. That's where today's sponsor and the official chair of hot news, the Fractal Refine, comes in. Fractal is no stranger to eye-catching design, and this stands true for the Refine. Here at UFD, we were lucky enough to get one in white and black, with both being mesh construction. The Refine is also available in padded fabric and Alcantara if mesh isn't your vibe. Personally, the breathability and comfort of the mesh is the way to go, in my opinion, plus it's cool to see the sleek frame of the chair through the mesh. These things also come together super quick, with Michael getting both of our chairs fully built and ready to go in under 40 minutes, even with him somehow messing up the clearly printed instructions. Again, as with all Fractal products, the design is backed with usability in mind. The Refine features a super comfortable and adjustable sliding headrest, seat depth adjustment, 4-dimensional adjustable armrest, and a knob-controlled lumbar support. Once you sit down, it takes just a few seconds to tweak the chair to fit how you sit, and this feels like it was custom made for you. Best of all, it simply just looks great while being super comfortable. Something I really like, and actually one of the first things Michael noticed while putting these chairs together, was how unique and smooth the casters are. These casters glide super smooth and super quiet, especially on the hardwood floors of the office. Now is actually the perfect time to pick up a Fractal Refine for yourself, with Fractal's Black Friday and Cyber Monday sale happening November 21st through December 9th. Your favorite Fractal items like the North and the Terra will be on sale at Newegg, Amazon, Best Buy, and more. You can find links in the description below. Huge thanks to Fractal for being the official hot news chair and sponsoring this video. Well, I'll probably be sitting in my Fractal Refine chair as I get news of what's going on with Intel's upcoming Battlemage GPUs. There's a data miner who looks through shipping manifests that seems to be indicating that Battlemage is going to have some sort of December 2024 unveiling event. This is already kind of teased on a different forum. We talked about this, I think, last week or 2 weeks ago, that we're expecting Intel might have something for us in the discrete GPU department in December. But it's not just this data miner talking about the shipping manifest. We also have found that the ARC B580 Battlemage is showing up in these shipping manifests as well. So we now have a name to put to it. It looks like it's actually being put on shipment somewhere. And so multiple different sources out there are kind of collating to indicate that December is when you maybe should be expecting the next generation of Intel's GPUs. And in case you want to see how Battlemage performs in a laptop scenario, we actually put out a video this weekend comparing Intel's Lunar Lake, which has Xe2 graphics, versus AMD's Strix Point, which has their Radeon 880M and 890M. You can check that video out right up there. Kind of gives you an idea of how it performs at lower wattages. You can't linearly scale it, but Intel does put up a good showing against AMD. So go watch that video in case you're interested. And it looks like Zotac is interested in getting out of Hong Kong. It's being reported that Zotac's parent company, known as PC Partner, is relocating out of Hong Kong over to Singapore because of all the different tariffs and export restrictions that are going on with various GPUs. Hong Kong's not able to receive all of these incredibly powerful GPUs. They have to have the 4090D or the 5090D. That's allegedly why PC Partner made this change, and they're announcing that this has now been completed. They are officially a Singaporean company, and now Nvidia needs to review whether or not this structure makes it so that it complies with the US Department of Commerce and their restrictions and all of that, so potentially saving them a headache later on down the line. And let's see if Reece can save your wallet some headache by getting you to spend less money on PC parts.
Yo, welcome back to UFD Deals, bringing the hottest tech deals out on the internet. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Hope you guys had a good weekend, and I've got some good deals for you today. Starting off with the Sama 3-in-1 ARGB 120mm fan kit with a fan hub for only $9.99, making it $30 off. These have that really cool infinity mirror thing going on, and I really like that. But then keeping up with the cooling side, we've got this Corsair iQ H100i Elite 240mm AIO CP liquid cooler going for only $79.99, making it $60 off. And then lastly, if you need something to put under that, you can grab this AMD Ryzen 5 5600X desktop processor for only $105, making it $22 off. And hey, with that, the deals are done. You can find these and more linked in the video description down below. But until next time, I hand you off back to Brett for the rest of the hot news. Cheers.
Well, Reece, turns out I got a great deal when it came to that Wi-Fi 7 purchase I made for the new office. It was a little treat to myself. I picked up a 33 gigabit Wi-Fi 7 mesh network, very excited for it, but learning about Wi-Fi 8 gave my heart a little palpitation. Turns out I don't need to worry that much because the speeds for Wi-Fi 7 and Wi-Fi 8 are expected to be exactly the same. The certification for Wi-Fi 8 looks like it's going to have the same maximum physical rate of 23 gigabits per band, making it so that overall the speed doesn't increase, but it does have various different features that are going to be added in to make it more reliable and better for users, especially in a mesh network setup. So that includes things like coordinated spatial reuse, coordinated beamforming, dynamic subchannel operation, enhanced modulation coding scheme. You can get overall system efficiency improved 15 to 25%. Additionally, we're looking at Wi-Fi 8, the standard, to be complete in 2028. So we still got a little while, and then it'll come out to devices later on that year. So Wi-Fi 7 still kind of safe for now. Obviously, Wi-Fi 7 prices are still obscene, which is why it was a gift to myself. I wouldn't have bought it if we didn't like. It was just to celebrate for UFD. I got fast Wi-Fi for the office. And it turns out you're all getting fast CPUs for your gaming PCs, and they all happen to be Team Red. We're now getting a clearer picture of what's going on in the sales market with the 9800X3D now that that's launched, and you can look at things like Amazon's top gaming CPU list, where you can see that the 9800X3D is number one, and then just continuing on down the line, AMD is everything in the top 10. The first known Intel CPU, it was at 12th earlier today. It's dropped down to 13th. The Intel i5-13600KF, a 2-generation old CPU, is at 13th place. And if you look at the top 20 CPUs, Intel's only 5 of them. That's also corroborated by this chart from MindFactory indicating AMD versus Intel sales. And you can see that in the week that the 9800X3D launched and the Ultra 9 and Ultra 7s came out, you can see that the 9800X3D pushed AMD to nearly 100% of sales and Intel down below 10%. It looks to be a brutal reality for Intel right now. Obviously, they've come out and said that their Arrow Lake CPUs are expected to receive a patch either at the end of this month or sometime in next month to make the gaming performance a bit closer in line with what they were expecting. But we're also getting an idea of what the next generation holds for us, because Derbauer actually held a live streamed interview with an Intel employee kind of discussing all of the various things that are going on with Intel right now. One of the most interesting things that came out of that interview is the discussion surrounding 3D V-Cache. It's the thing that makes the 9800X3D, the 7800X3D, the 5800X3D such banger gaming CPUs, is that level 3 cache that's stacked in the third dimension. And so Derbauer asked the Intel rep about this, and Intel came out and said that AMD CPUs are tailored for a very specific target group, and that group is gamers. We're aware that it can offer a lot to gamers, but it has trade-offs and certain disadvantages, which it might not be as strong in applications. And so they're not going to be bringing it to desktop. They do, however, look to be bringing it to the server market. That's their current plan because it's a large market for them, and gamers don't appear to be a large number of CPUs for them to implement the technology moving forward. So this is a big bummer. Obviously, it's been something that AMD released. Obviously, AMD and Intel kind of have access to the same gamer market. Even if Intel added in a Core Ultra 9 285K X3D, or however they would choose to denote that number, they would still have all of these other processors that they could potentially sell. Probably, if I had to guess, is that this issue is closer to an engineering challenge than something like gamers are too small for us. It's probably that it would be difficult for them to implement 3D V-Cache with how they designed Arrow Lake, and so they have to kind of refactor things, and they're not ready to bring that out to gaming customers just yet, which is a big bummer. I don't like talking about the fact that Intel's not in the top 10. I want good competition between Team Blue and Team Red, because I think that makes a better future for us all. But let me know what you think of Intel not bringing 3D V-Cache to their next generation gaming CPUs, or at least not next year, down below in the comments while I review your comments from Friday's episode of Hot News. Over on Flowplane, Kryptonite saying, dang, even at 1080p, if AMD's FPS claims are close to accurate, I might have to rethink my mini ITX travel PC setup. I'm really looking forward to the day when a laptop can do native or slightly upscaled ray tracing. And then you ruined it with the AI NFT crypto monologue. Is that a LAN all night llama on the bottom shelf? No, that's a llama that Reece Kaplan and I picked up at Walmart in 2020 when we were designing the set at the Florida office. And I don't know what a LAN all night llama is. Never heard of that before. So I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry for ruining things, but also, yeah, AMD's gaming performance on the Radeon 880M, 890M is quite good. It's definitely better than what we have in the gaming handhelds right now. I'm excited for seeing like an HX 370 in something like the ROG Ally 2. It's gonna be good. But then over on YouTube, there are a lot of comments. I read through a bunch of them where everybody clearly let me know that the 9800X3D pop issue was user error. That was in a lot of comments. Everybody used the same phrase of user error, so I'm wondering how that entered the zeitgeist. But I really appreciate Doug Temple coming up and backing me up, saying, I find it funny how many it's user errors comments came up when that's one of the very first things Brett said. Maybe I'm alone in this, but I like watching the whole video before I comment. Maybe that's a hot take, weird. He even says he's not worried about it as he's going to build a 9800X 3D system for the newest UFD tech employee. If that's not proof he just wanted to address the topic without harboring any fear, I don't know what is. Thank you, Doug. I think that's what I was trying to get across. It clearly was not the message that was received. We'll adjust our strategy with how we deal with sensational topics like this moving forward. It was just something that everybody was discussing, so I thought it should fit into a tech news roundup. We discussed it. I thought it was the headline topic for the day. I knew it was user error, which is why I discussed it as user error. And yes, as you can see here, we did indeed build a 9800X 3D system for our newest employee, Robert, right here. He got the new Noctua NHD 15 G2 in there, Founders Edition 4090, as well as 64 gigs of RAM. It was a nice, beautiful build that we gave him. And I think one of my favorite parts is that we put it in the Montech King 95 Ultra Gear Seekers Edition. Great case to building. Congrats to Nick and Claire for releasing a collaboration with Montech. Great case, was phenomenal to build in. I really enjoyed it. I'm not worried about the 9800X 3D. I didn't install it wrong, at least I don't think so. But I also appreciate Midnight Lumina's take on this, saying plot twist, that 9800X 3D was from user benchmark. I don't know what I'm saying. I'll be back for Hot News tomorrow. That's how I wanted to end it. What's wrong with me?